Yep, Trevor, that was you just a week ago as Dwayne Haskins got cut this week. But this is the MDM podcast. I'm Joe Morales. That's Trevor Markowski. And Trevor, your guy Dwayne Haskins gets cut. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think part of it is the play on the field, and a part of it is I think he's very immature right now. I mean, wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah, but it's all about it's all how or what he's done on the field. Look what he's done this year. Look what he's done last year. He's just not a good quarterback.
Uh, I think maybe he needs a different, maybe a different team that could help him
I
to
s-
at least,
good.
he need to get away from Washington. That's number one. And then,
Good.
and then number two is he needs to find a different team, and hopefully he finds a team.
I think he will find a team. We'll get into that a little later. But I saw a report that on draft day in 2018 or was it 2019? It's one of those years. The coaching staff of the Washington football team at that time, the Redskins, was saying, "Don't draft this guy. He's not good." But ownership refused to listen to them, and now they're here on this day with who's their quarterback now? Trevor Heineke. What's his name?
Well, it could be Alex Smith. We're not sure yet.
And as Giants fans, with the loss of the Giants this week, we can only hope, and I don't hope for an injury, never. But you have to hope Alex Smith doesn't play. You have to hope that lingering calf stays there for one more week, and he can play. Because if Travis or Trevor, whatever his name is, Heineke has to play, the Giants' chances of winning this division go up. And what
Well,
happened?
first,
Go ahead.
first they have to win themselves before
Yes,
that can happen.
we'll get to that in a second because we got to talk about the game first. And they ended up losing 27-13. And do the Giants know there was a game to be played yesterday? Do they remember that? Because when they started playing, it didn't look like they were playing a football game.
Yeah, well, I tell you that every week. They never show up against good teams, and once again, it happened again. They never showed up.
But next week it's Dallas. That's not a good team, so maybe we can get something going there.
Well, I don't know about the line, but I wouldn't think I think there would be a small underdog to start the week.
What would you say right now?
Hmm. Dallas by like maybe 1-2.
We'll get to that in a few minutes, but you're pretty close. But yesterday went as expected. Would you agree it went as expected?
Yeah, yeah. The only thing I think I was a little shocked about is that they went to the defense like they were standing still.
Oh, seriously, and look at the first half of this game. The Ravens had 46 plays in the first half of this game. That's not the first. That's not the whole game. That's not three quarters. That's the first half. That's four drives. Took them 46 plays, and it wasn't like the defense was bad. I mean, they were bad. It wasn't like they were undisciplined. They didn't commit any penalties. It was they couldn't stop them. Like the Baltimore defense pretty much knew what they were doing before they even showed up.
Yeah, and Lamar Jackson, he had a great game rushing and throwing. He did really good.
Well, they
80
couldn't
yards
stop a
rushing.
run. The Giants' defense strong suit has been stopping the run. They didn't do that yesterday. Whether it was Lamar, J.K. Dobbins, or this what's his name now? I'm forgetting his name. The kid
Gus
from
Edwards.
Gus Edwards. That's it.
Well,
Whoever it is.
the one thing I would say is that wouldn't you agree this is probably one of the toughest running attacks the Giants had to face the whole season?
Yeah,
One of.
definitely. But they laid down and died against them. They didn't even show a fight.
Yeah, and on the offense, I don't count the garbage time when they move the ball. That doesn't count. Would you agree with that? That you move the ball. The defense was really, they were just preventing you from scoring a
It was a
touchdown.
garbage time touchdown. Yeah.
And they really the only time they moved the ball, um, when they went no huddle. But you can't do that for the whole game. You can't do no huddle for the whole game.
Well, you know why they didn't move the ball? Do you know why they didn't move the ball, Trevor?
Yeah, the offense sucked.
They do not have anyone to catch the ball. Whether it's Austin Mack, Evan Ingram, Sterling Shepard played good yesterday. He dropped a couple balls. Darius Slayton was non-existent yesterday. Daniel Jones actually played a good game. He threw for
He
252 yards. Didn't have a
he played a
turnover.
very he played a very average
Come
game.
on, that's not an average game.
Yes,
252
it
yards,
is.
not a turnover. That's
No,
that's
no, no, no.
average. How is it
You have to
average?
tell you have to tell me he got all the yards when it was no huddle. When it was basic defense, which is basic
Come on,
offense,
he,
and
he
no
had
good.
200 yards to three quarters.
I don't know, man.
I mean, what do you
He's
mean?
just
What do you mean? He did. I'm telling you.
when it counted in the beginning of the game, he didn't show up.
It wasn't his fault. You think it was his fault Austin Mack dropped a 3-yard pass?
No, but everything is short pass here, short pass there, short pass
Because
here.
they don't have a receiver, dude. There's no one to catch it. If you're Daniel Jones, why would you trust Austin Mack or Evan Ingram, who can't catch a ball this year?
I, I get that point, but the quarterback has not shown any progress of moving forward from year one. He's actually went backwards in year one. That's too,
I told you this last week. I split his season in half. Weeks 1 through 8, he was awful. That was him last year. And 8 through now, with the exception of the Arizona game, he's played really good.
I don't know about that. He's played like a third tier quarterback has played.
Come on. You got to start giving him some credit. He threw for 252 yards yesterday against an elite Ravens defense.
All I'll tell you is he hasn't beaten one team over 500 yet in his career.
No, I'll agree with you there. I will agree that they have not beaten a good team.
And people say Seattle, but that wasn't him.
That was Cole McCoy.
So that wasn't him. So you can't give him that. And people say, well, if Jones was in the game, they would have won anyway. Well, I don't know that. The game could have been different with Jones.
We don't know that. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's a stupid argument to make that. If anyone is out, you can't, like, you did it last week, and I'll use you. You did it last week with Joe Burrow when he played the Giants. If Joe Burrow played, you said they would have lost. I don't know. I can't tell you that because I don't know.
I would have said I a better chance. How about that? Probably a better chance of winning. How about that?
That's fine. But Trevor, we have to address the glaring problem that stares at the New York Giants right now. In the last 3 games, they've been outscored 73-26.
Yeah, I was talking to one of my friends, and he said that the defense is the offense is the problem. It's not the defense that's the problem. I mean, the defense has problems, but it's the offense that's more of the problem than the defense. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think the defense has played somewhat decent this year. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yes, but I don't think the defense was there yesterday.
No, the one thing I would say is after it was 14-0, they did kind of hold the Giants in the game.
What part are you talking about?
Well, okay, when the Ravens went up 14-0?
Yes, that was early.
In the early first quarter. After that, I mean, they only gave up 13 points from there, so they did kind of hold the Giants into the game for somewhat of a short time.
Sure, that's fine, but it didn't stop Lamar Jackson from making big plays. And this has been glaring, just like the offense. There is no secondary. Whenever the quarterback, so whoever it was this year, whether it was Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Ryan Finley, whoever played quarterback for the Bengals that game, whoever it is, there's always someone open. There's never anyone covered, and I get it's a young secondary, but Bradbury, great. Where has he been the last couple games? I know last year he was out, or last week he was out. This week he was non-existent.
Well, I think he wasn't 100%.
Then why is he playing?
Well, Jones wasn't 100%, so why is he playing?
This week, I'm not disagreeing with you, dude. If Jones isn't 100%, he can't play. Because look at this. Judge, would you agree that Daniel Jones' best asset are his legs?
I think he's an average thrower, and you can find anybody who throws like him. Would you agree with that? He's just an average thrower.
Okay.
His running, I think he's one of the top. Well, I was going to say top 10, but you do have Lamar. You do have Newton. You do have. You do maybe top 10, at least top 15.
He's around 10, maybe like 10 or 11 or 12, around there.
Yes, I think he's maybe right around the top 10, maybe low top 10.
So, dude, 10, if that's the case, then why isn't he using his legs more? Why isn't Joe Judge incorporating more plays for him to use his best asset, which are his legs?
Especially with Barkley out.
And Wayne Gallman, last 2 games, he's also been non-existent. Can't find him anywhere.
Well, let's see. I have the stats right here. 6 carries for 27 yards. His average was 4.5 yards per carry. And Lamar Jackson, who's a quarterback, his average was 6.2 yards per carry.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I think Jones only threw for or ran 2 times. Am I wrong?
Daniel Jones had 1 carry for 3 yards.
There you go. 1 time? That's all you can do? Really?
It sounds like, and I think that 1 time, I don't remember, but it sounds like that 1 time was more of a scramble than a run.
What was that? Do you have the play up?
I don't have the play up, but it sounds like I remember the game. I don't remember him. I don't remember the play being intended for him to run.
I don't remember him. I don't remember any designed run plays.
No. Just to clear it up for anybody who doesn't understand, we were trying to say is that there was no play that it was meant for Jones to take it and like have a quarterback draw. It was supposed to be his throw when he had to scramble. That's what
Exactly.
I'm trying.
Scramble is different from from a designed quarterback run.
It
That
goes
is the
down.
point I'm trying to make.
It goes down as a run, but you got to look and see what it really was.
Yeah, I mean, was it an accident or was he actually intended to run? I don't think he was actually intended to run.
No, and they only ran the ball 12 times. They had 12 carries for 54 yards.
And that's why Jones, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think you would know this off the top of your head. Jones threw 41 times. That seems a little high for him.
Yes, and 41 times. You talk about the yards, 252. Some of those yards were inflated because he got a lot of yards in garbage time.
They still count. They
Uh,
still count.
I get that, but
They count.
also some of the numbers get inflated when you throw 50 times. That some of those yard numbers get inflated a lot.
Hey, but it still did it though, dude. If he
Yes,
was a bad
and
quarterback, 41 throws and he had less than 200 yards, we can have this discussion. He's near 300 yards yesterday.
I get that, but again, how much when the game counted and it mattered, I don't think he played that good. He was
When?
just very. I
Like
think he was
when
just
though?
okay.
Like when?
When he didn't play good?
Yeah.
Well, the first quarter, the offense didn't play. The whole offense was
The
terrible.
offense or Daniel Jones?
Everybody, Jones, him, everybody.
Why? What did Jones do wrong? Did he turn the ball over? No.
No, it was just that. Look, when your offense isn't working, because it's a team sport. When your offense isn't working, everybody gets the blame.
Why
That's the
though?
way I see
Well,
it.
okay, but I don't agree with that. Why?
Because there's 11 people out there. Everybody's got to do their job. You got to coordinate with everybody. So somebody did something wrong, or multiple people did something wrong.
There's one
So
ball. One ball. Once the
I
quarterback
get
throws the
that.
ball, someone has to catch it.
I get that. My mentality is it's a team sport. Everybody takes the blame when the offense isn't working.
Okay, but let me ask you that. Let me ask you this: if Jones is accurate, like he normally is, I'll give Daniel Jones that. He's very accurate. When he's accurate, and receivers or tight ends simply don't catch the ball, how's it his fault?
It's not his fault, but I think he didn't. He got sacked. Well, first of all, that getting sacked 3 plays in a row, that was unacceptable.
Okay, is that the offensive line or is that him? That's also him
Uh,
not moving out of the pocket. That's the problem I have with Jones. It's fumbling and he can't read a blitz. He can't scramble.
So when you read those sacks yesterday, I recall that that's half of the faults on the offensive line, half of the faults on Jones. Do you think that's fair?
Okay, but you're nitpicking things. Like,
Well, you want to talk about quarter. You look at a game where you're supposed to. You got to nitpick things. You got to say what happened, and that's the way you review a game.
okay, but clearly he's not healthy. Unless he forgot how to scramble, he's just not healthy. Would you agree with me there?
Yeah, and for a guy who doesn't like Jones, he's not getting a fair shake.
Really? So you will admit that he's being treated unfairly.
He's being treated unfairly that he's not 100% ready to go, and you can't evaluate the guy like
And he
that.
shouldn't be played because, and this is not a knock towards
You
you.
you can evaluate some things on him. His throwing you can evaluate him on,
Right, right. But
but
he's
not his.
costing the team when he's laying down and getting sacked.
Yeah,
But this is not a knock at you. But when he is not healthy and he's playing like this and he can't read a blitz, he can't scramble, it makes people like you all up in flames because now they feel like they need a new quarterback. Again, it's not a
well,
knock at you. It's just people that think like you.
if you're not 100% healthy, you can run. You should be able to read a blitz. You don't have to run to read a
Right,
blitz.
but then you said he got sacked 3 times. What is he supposed to do? Hobble out of there, roll away?
Well, my thing is that if he's reading a blitz and if he can't run and you know there's a blitz coming, call a slant or audible out and call a run.
You can't do that mid play.
You could do that. If you could audible's right during the audible's right when you had the line.
That's pre snap. You can't do that mid play.
No. I'm talking about pre-snap. He should have done that.
How's he supposed to know?
They don't review. They don't say, "Oh, this is when the blitz is going to come," or something. This is going to come.
I don't think they know all the time when the blitz is coming. I mean, there were some
No, I'm.
dude. There were some times where the Ravens stacked 7 guys on the line. I mean, that's clear. That is obviously a blitz. I'll give you that. But if they rush with 3 linebackers, I don't think there's any way of telling.
No, but the times when they stack 7, you didn't audible out of that. I mean that's inexcusable. That you should know there's a blitz coming. I can tell you there's a blitz coming.
I could tell you that too in my sleep. But I again, I don't remember I mean, I remember it, but I'm not picking up the exact play you're talking about when he got sacked. Like there were 3 sacks. I don't know the exact one you're talking about. But
I think one there was it was late in the game. One there was a stack. That I
so there
remember.
was one with a stack.
One I don't know about the other two. I think one there was.
So when there's a stack, if he does not have an open receiver, because again, these receivers can't get open. If he can't find an open receiver, it's his job to either A, run the ball, or 2, when there's no one open, get out of the hash marks and throw the ball away. Would you agree
I
with that?
agree. And I don't think he hasn't done that yet.
No, he hasn't. Well, he's thrown the ball away. I think he's gotten better with that this year.
I,
Last year, that was a
I,
problem. Remember that when he kept throwing interceptions?
yes, I think reading blitzes. I think he's got to get better at.
Oh, absolutely. But I think he's put at a disadvantage when he's not healthy.
Yes, and here's the thing I would like to see from the Giants. If you're talking about, is it time for a new quarterback? My thing would be is that if you do bring in a quarterback, a veteran or whatever, at the end of the season,
Yeah.
what you could do is the Eagles, what they did was, so let's just say a quarterback A is a better thrower than Jones.
Okay.
I'm not saying I don't. If he's a good thrower, do you do something like bring in Jones on third and shorts for quarterback draws or something like that?
That's it?
They did it. They did that with Jalen Hurts for 11 weeks.
Yeah, because Carson Wentz is a bad quarterback. He's incompetent.
I
Daniel
just
Jones is
that
not at
just
that level yet.
no, but he's not trending in the right direction.
I think he stayed flat. But, Trevor, this is week 970 of arguing about Daniel Jones. And we have next week to do it. We have a full offseason to do it. And hopefully, when Daniel Jones is opening as the quarterback for the New York Giants after their Super Bowl win next year, we will still have this conversation. But,
Look,
go ahead.
I would say, I want them to draft a quarterback, but if you told me Jones has to stay another season, he wasn't healthy, he missed some time, I was like, I don't like it, but I understand it. So, all right, maybe another season, get a full, maybe, I would say this. If I told you at the end of next season,
Mhm.
this next season, what would you tell me then?
At the end of next season.
If
If
they're
he is
5-10,
still the way, yeah, then you got to figure something out. Definitely.
and they had Barkley back for almost the whole season next year,
Mm-hmm. A
and
better
that's the big
defense,
excuse.
hopefully a wide receiver.
That's the big excuse I'm hearing. Well, you didn't have Barkley. That's yes, that doesn't help.
Mhm.
No Barkley. But if I told you at the end of next season they're 5-10 or around the same record at the end of next season, what would you tell me?
Yes, definitely. Then we got to start
You
having this
should.
conversation. Definitely. Because I'm, you know me, I told you last week, I'm setting high expectations next year. If they don't win this week and Washington loses, they're gonna have a top 10 pick. They're gonna have a ton of money to spend in free agency. I need a receiver here, and I need an improved secondary. Next
Well,
year, locked and loaded. Let's go. We're in the playoffs. I need that.
before we start with off season, I told you about this report yesterday. Was it ProFootballTalk.com?
Oh, it's
Somebody.
about Gettleman.
Yeah, it looks like that gentleman. The needle's been moving towards him getting out.
I would listen. I'll give you my reaction to that right now. Is I don't want Gettleman gone, but after next week, with whatever happens next week, we will have a Dave Gettleman debate right here. Okay?
I think he should be gone.
I don't think so, but we'll put that aside. Next week, we will definitely get into that right after the season finale. Right?
Look, Joe. Don't you think? I just want to say, don't you
Yeah.
think that when Sherman left, don't you think Gettleman should have left too?
That was only Gettleman's what for second year.
I understand that, but you don't normally keep the GM and you get rid of the coach. Normally both go.
Okay, well he did. So and the team he's built right now looks pretty good.
Yeah, I would say his drafts have been pretty good.
Free agency,
Besides DeAndre Baker, that's been a disaster.
and
His free
Saquon too.
agency,
We'll see where that goes.
Saquon, but I think his free agency's been hit or miss.
Yeah, no,
He's hit on
definitely.
he's hit on some. I mean, Nate Soldier has been a disaster.
But Bradbury and what's his face, Blake Martinez been pretty good.
They haven't been bad. Yes, I just think I was taking a look yesterday to a really nice article. Who were the picks after? Who the Giants took? I mean, one guy the pick after him was Nick Chubb, so it was like, oh my god, that's unbelievable.
You're right. Yeah.
The pick after another guy was Tua.
That was Andrew Thomas, and the jury's still out on Andrew Thomas.
Yeah, he's had as a rookie, it's
Mhm.
typical. He's had his ups and downs.
You're right.
But when you see those picks after, it's like God.
Right. So
So you know,
go ahead.
so you get angry and then you don't formulate a good opinion. Then you gotta calm down and say, well, they didn't have a running back. You know, that's you get all angry then.
I telling you, we're gonna have this argument next week. We'll have a week to prepare, dive into all the research and all that.
Well, look,
Go ahead.
I would say next week that this outcome of next week's game and the outcome of the division,
Well,
I
isn't
think,
his contract up at the end of this year?
it's either this year or next year. But I would say this: whatever happens to the Giants, if they win or lose the division,
Hmm.
that I think will have an effect on Gettleman's GM job.
Well,
That's my
here
opinion.
I think, and again, correct me if I'm wrong. I'll look after the show. I think Gettleman is his contract's up at the end of the year, and we just lost Trevor, so we will take a break. All right, Trevor's back, and what I was saying was I think Dave Gettleman's contract actually expires at the end of the year, and if it does, I think Gettleman should get a 2-year deal, kind of like a prove me deal. Get this team to the playoffs in these 2 years, and then we'll give you that long-term contract that a good GM will get. Right? Is that fair to say?
Uh, how, you know, that you gotta tell me how you. First off, I think if you're in the playoffs or not will make a difference.
This year,
Yes, would you agree with that?
not really.
If you told me 2 years, yeah, all right. You know, I'm not gonna be ecstatic, but you know, yeah,
It's a prove me deal. A year in or 2 years in, if the team's gone nowhere, Jones has regressed, and the team around them looks really bad, we'll get someone else in here to fix the job or get the job done. It's only 2 years.
y- yes. I would be on board for that if you told me, but nothing more than 2 years.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. After the year or after 2 years, definitely we'll get have this conversation again. But next week, Dave Gettleman debate definitely, and we'll see where the Giants go. So as for the NFC East, it's very simple. Giants Cowboys. The winner of that will have a chance to win the division, and it all
But you gotta wait.
depends on what happens in the Sunday night game, which got flexed between Washington and Philadelphia.
If you,
Philadelphia's out. Go ahead.
if you want my opinion, if Smith is any somewhat capable of playing, I think he plays that game.
Oh, definitely. And they would rush him. Not even just because he'd be okay
Even if
playing.
he, even if he's 75%,
They're gonna
I
play him
think
because he's a veteran. He wants to play.
he's a veteran and he's not a running quarterback, so his legs don't really mean too much to
Well,
him.
exactly. But if he has to limp off the field or limp up the field every time there's a big pass, then I don't think they play him. But if Trevor,
No,
again, I don't know what the heck his name is. I saw him once yesterday. If this guy Travis Heineke plays next week, the winner of the Giants Cowboys game will be going to the playoffs. And if you ask
I
me, I'm going out on a limb here, and I will probably get smoked for this next week. Instead of Trevor being the open, I will have to be the open. I think the Giants get the job done against Dallas. I really do.
I've been torn. Look, Dallas's receivers are better than the Giants' receivers.
Yes.
That's no
Yes, definitely.
question.
That's no doubt.
Um, I think the quarterback matchup's pretty even.
I guess, yeah.
Um,
I think I give
I
Dalton a little slight edge because he's experienced and he's looked actually better than
yeah,
the
I
Giants.
give you that. I think the offensive line for Dallas is certainly better.
Mm-hmm.
The running back certainly heavy favorite to Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
The defense, I think the defense is the edge of the Giants.
Yes.
But
By
I think
far. By
yes,
far.
but I think offensively it's a big edge to Dallas.
Sure. And it's gonna be whether the Giants defense holds up or the Dallas Cowboys offense breaks the game open. Now, I've heard some, and no, not heard it. I've heard you say that you're torn, you're in the middle, and I guess everyone is too because this division is so like unpredictable. We don't know what a team will be next week. Like the Cowboys, they sucked in the beginning of the year. They've won like
Yeah.
3 in a row now,
eh,
and I think most people say they're going to win the division.
So, Joe, just to clarify, the NFC East, who are they going to play? The Bucks occupy that fifth seed right now. Now, if the Bucks win,
They would lose.
they get that fifth. They get that fifth seed.
Yes, and
Now,
any one of these
the
teams would lose to the Bucks. By the way.
now the Rams are fighting for a playoff spot. If
Yes.
the Rams win and the Buccaneers play Atlanta, so I don't know if they're going to play the guys. Since the Rams beat Tampa head to head, if the Rams win and the Buccaneers lose, then Tampa Bay would get, and then the Rams would get that fifth seed.
And the Giants have played the Rams this year and lost.
Yes,
Remember
now I
that?
don't know. Now there's been they lost to Tampa too.
And also, Goff looks like he's hurt. I don't know what's going on with Goff.
And Murray looks 50-50 as well.
Yes, I heard they're leaning to not play him next week. It might be a battle of two backup quarterbacks for that final playoff spot. Or the second to
Well,
last, because Chicago's there too.
It's the 2020. Well, no, one of them's going to get in because Rams and Cardinals, they both say if they win, they clinch. So whoever
Well,
wins,
I mean, you're saying also if there's a tie, because right now, correct me if I'm wrong, Chicago holds the tiebreaker over Arizona, right?
I think so, yes.
But not over the Rams.
No, the Rams are a game better. So
That's true. They can't even get there. So if the two of those teams tie,
don't
no,
even think about it.
It wouldn't matter.
Don't even think about ties because the game's gonna be one outright.
Yeah, but would you agree that was in contention? That game was in contention to be flexed Sunday night.
I think it should have been.
But at least we're gonna, as Giant fans, we're gonna have the suspicion or the suspicion of watching these games. You know.
Oh yeah, for a Giant fan, you're gonna have to wait 4 more hours of torture.
Absolutely right. And I've already gone ahead and scratched off some of these games that don't matter because week 17 you have.
Well, do you think the Tampa Bay game matters? Because that is evolving for seeding.
No, I took that off. I'm not really looking. I'll
It
tell you the games I took off.
it matters for the Giants though.
Maybe, but the Giants need to worry about winning their game and Washington losing before they worry about who they're playing first.
So what I did was this job. I was going to do this on the show with you.
Mhm.
I have my playoff machine here. So all the 4 non-playoff games, the Chiefs game, because they have the 1 seed, I predicted those winners right because it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
We're going to go through here.
Okay.
A little late right now, starting with Monday Night Football.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the scenarios, and then you make your pick. Okay.
Okay. Let's do it.
So Monday Night Football is the Bills and Patriots, and the Bills can get the 2 seed, or they can fall as far as the 4th seed. What do you think? We think that tonight?
Wait, as far as the 4 seed? Oh, you're right. Oh, okay, you're right. Who wins tonight? You think?
Yeah,
I think the Bills win.
Bills win. So Bills win, and that moves the Bills to the 2 seed heading into the final week. Okay. Dolphins at Bills.
Dolphins at Bills. I think it's the Dolphins because if the Bills win tonight, then Allen's not going to play. A bunch of their starters aren't going to play. And Miami, don't forget, they're still playing for a playoff spot.
All right. Well, Jets and Patriots, that game doesn't matter. Ravens at Bengals.
Ravens. There's no team higher than the Ravens right now.
Steelers at Browns.
This is close. The Steelers are going to be sitting their starters, but I don't know what's the situation with the Browns with the COVID stuff. Who has it? Who doesn't? Who's on reserve? So I don't know. That's a toss-up. I'm going to say Steelers. The Browns are going to miss the playoffs.
All right. Cowboys at Giants. And to be honest, don't be biased.
Big Blue.
Okay. Vikings at Lions don't mean anything. Falcons at Bucks.
Bucks.
That means the 5th seed will be Tampa. So whoever is playing the NFC East, that means there will be Tampa in this scenario.
Yep.
And you think there'll be a double-digit underdog, whoever plays?
Yes.
All right. We're moving on to the next game, which is, I can go to the second row here. Titans at Texans.
Titans.
Jaguars at Colts.
Colts.
Raiders and Broncos don't mean anything.
This is Trevor with technology, by the way.
Chargers and Chiefs don't mean anything. Packers at Bears.
Ooh. I'm going to say the Bears, dude. Bears are going to make the playoffs. I'm telling you.
Saints at Panthers. Now, the Saints still have a small shot at the number 1 seed.
Yeah, I'll say Saints.
Cardinals at Rams.
It's tough. See, who's the quarterback?
I told you both quarterbacks are playing.
Both quarterbacks playing? All right, give me the Rams.
Rams. See,
actually, no, take that back. Give me the Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals.
Cardinals. Okay. Seahawks at Niners. Now the Seahawks still also are playing for a small chance in the number 1 seed.
Yeah, and the Niners aren't all good with all these injuries. So give me the Seahawks.
Yeah, Seahawks. Football team at Eagles. Now be honest.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't think Smith is playing, and I'm on the Jalen Hurts bandwagon with you, dude.
If Smith plays,
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I love Jalen Hurts, dude.
All right, buddy. So here's what the matchup we got. So the Chiefs are the 1 seed, and the Saints are the 1 seed. Okay, under your scenario.
I want to write this down. Say it again. Chiefs are 1 seed.
Chiefs are 1 seed. So the Chiefs and the Saints.
Okay.
The 7-2 matchup for the AFC is Colts at Steelers.
Okay.
The 6-3 in the AFC is Ravens at Bills.
Okay. It's a good game.
The 5-4 in the AFC is Dolphins at Titans.
Okay.
The 7-2 in the NFC is Cardinals at Seahawks.
Okay.
The 6-3 is Bears at Packers. They'll be playing each other again.
That's awesome.
And the 5-4 is Bucks at Giants.
Oh, Big Blue.
They're not going to win that game.
I know. So,
Well, a lot of people are saying that, why would you risk moving that 13 spots if you're just going to get blown out anyway in the first round?
playoff experience. That's why.
Yeah, great. Playoff
In-
experience.
instant react-
49-0.
Well, Trevor. Instant reaction podcast following that game.
If they make it.
If they're in. Heck, I'm debating whether we do one next week.
Right in the middle of Sunday?
On Sunday night. I'm debating.
If they get in.
Deal. I'll do that. Deal. Good.
Joe, the other thing here is too that for the next week's game and the potential playoff game, I would have been there for those two games.
Really?
Those are next week's games home.
Oh, you're right. You got
And the playoff.
And
game
you
is
beat the
home too.
playoff game.
And because that's the division game.
Oh, dude. That stinks. I'm sorry.
But if we weird, I'll be home. Actually, I'll be them.
I'm sorry, dude. Have you gotten adjusted to the Giant home games yet?
Yeah, I kind of, made it into a little,
Is it weird?
It is weird, but hopefully next season we'll be back at the stadium.
Definitely, completely agree, man. But let's move on. You want to add anything else on the Giants?
No, it's just that.
Are you
next
rooting
week-
from? Are you rooting from?
Well, a part of me as the fan is like, yeah, division, we got to do it. But logically, strategy-wise, it's like, man, you got a really good draft pick here. You really want to blow it just to get blown out by Tampa?
So-
I don't know.
So will you be upset if, or so you'll be
I'll
happy
I'll
either
not-
way?
I will be happy either way.
Okay.
So it's a win-win situation for me.
Good for you, dude. I wish I was like that too, but I would never root against my team. I want to touch a little bit on the Jet Brown game, and I get the Browns had no
What a
receivers.
disaster for the Jets!
Oh,
Holy cow!
Well, at least they got put out of their misery, right? Like, there's no wondering and there's no suspicion going into Week 17 that do the Jaguars have to win and are we gonna lose? The Jets can sit back. They know they're the second pick now. They can actually root against the Patriots and spoil Bill Belichick, right? So, Jet fans, take a deep breath, relax. The second pick, and we have months and months to argue about what the heck we're gonna do with that pick. So, early prediction, Trevor, and let's play GM mode real quick. What are we doing with the second pick? You go first.
Quarterback,
Which one?
either Wilson or Fields.
Wilson or Fields? So not Trey Lance. You like Trey Lance?
I hope he falls to the Giants.
Oh, come on. Unbiased, dude. Unbiased. Where did...
Well, I think Lance is just behind them, in my opinion.
Well, I don't think NFL executives are as high as Lance as you are, right?
No,
High on Lance.
Well,
rather.
top 10.
Top 10. There could be like 4 or 5 quarterbacks that go top 10, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's just like last year. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say the Jets trade down from the second pick. And
Really?
I know that's crazy.
Trade it to the Giants.
No, Trevor, no. But listen closely. You could keep Sam Darnold. He's only 23 years old, right? You can get a crap ton of draft capital. You already have so much you can add on to that. And you still might be able to get a quarterback if you want. You can get Trey Lance. You can get Zach Wilson. If you want to wait till the second round and get like a Kyle Trask or someone along those lines. But moving down to 5 or 6 or even 15, if you want to be like with the Pats or the Niners or the Broncos, along those lines, the Jets, I'm not saying they need to do it. They need to hear offers on that pick.
Yeah, can the Giants call up?
No, they can't, Trevor. They cannot call him up. It's not gonna happen because they love Daniel Jones. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, they love Daniel Jones.
They love and his beautiful, beautiful arm and legs.
I would hear offers from it, but I would be more keen of keeping the pick right now.
and drafting because I'm not high on Fields, dude. I don't like Fields.
They gotta get this guy Jordan Love. They gotta draft a quarterback.
Who? Jets?
Yes.
But drafting Justin Fields, I don't think does him any good. Look what he did in the Big Ten championship game, dude. He was awful,
One
brutal.
game.
No, it was
I'm
brutal his whole
telling you,
year. He has no
this
internal
kid,
clock. He can't read a blitz. He's like Daniel Jones, but worse.
this kid's gonna be good. I'm telling you.
He's not. You said it about Dwayne Haskins too.
Oh, I missed one, but this kid,
I like you. Probably like Manziel too.
I did not like Manziel.
You definitely like Manziel. You definitely like Manziel.
I did.
Definitely did. But you want anything else from the Jets?
Wow, what a disaster! They can't even get Trevor Lawrence.
Well, as for Lawrence, dude, I don't want to hear his name anymore.
The show takes a hit.
Oh, definitely. We are definitely taking a hit with the ratings now. But I don't want to hear his name when it comes to the Jets. He's done. They shouldn't even think about him now. It's over.
Trade up to 1.
Do you think the Jags would do that? Think about it.
Again,
Well, do you think there's a chance that Lawrence says, "I don't want to play in Jacksonville"? Who the heck lives in Jacksonville?
Possibly.
What would you rather do if you were a quarterback? Would you rather play for Jacksonville or the Jets?
Depends how free agency goes.
Free agency. But you're getting drafted.
Well, free agency comes after the draft, though, right?
Oh, you're saying you don't even declare for the draft?
No, you declare for the draft, but you wait to see what free agents go to the Jaguars.
Oh, can you do that?
Yeah, the free agency starts in March. The draft isn't until
I know
April.
that, but like, can you after free agency say I don't want to play there? That's Eli Manning.
Right? Eli did.
I don't know, dude. Whatever. But we have a lot more to get to. We have guess the spread. We have Trevor's nice segment. We have some baseball, college football, and at the end, or Brooklyn Nets too. And at the end, top 5 sports moments from 2020. So let's start real quick, Trevor, with guess the spread. And it is the last week we're doing this. And after guess the spread, I will get you the standings on our picks. All right?
I think you're 3 games ahead, right?
We're gonna. I haven't added it up yet. We're gonna go look. But we'll start with guess the spread. Go ahead.
All I'll tell you this, though, Joe, is if you're 3 games up, man. Hey, the way this season's going, it's definitely not over.
No, absolutely not. And again, I'll look at that as you're doing these, and we'll start with Buffalo and New England tonight.
Buffalo's a 7-point favorite.
Yep. And then next week, Falcons Bucks.
Is Tampa Bay playing their guys?
I don't know yet.
I'm gonna say Tampa's probably 7.
6.5. Ravens at Bengals.
Ravens are 12.
Ravens are 11.5. Cowboys at Giants.
I'm gonna say Cowboys are probably 2.
They are right now at 3.
Seems a little high.
Really?
Tad high.
Jets at Patriots. This is
Man, what an awful game.
Yeah, really. Snooze fest.
Patriots are a 4-point favorite.
Yeah, that's really low, no?
Who knows? The Jets are hot though, so.
Oh, come on. Hot. Come on. Really?
Well, the Patriots aren't that great.
No, but it's Belichick. He destroys Jets every time he plays them.
It does.
Pittsburgh Steelers at the Browns.
Are the Steelers playing their guys?
I don't know.
You don't know everything.
I don't know anything, dude. I'm clueless.
Browns are probably 5.5.
7.
Wow, sounds like the Steelers aren't playing their guys the way that line is.
Yeah. Titans Texans.
Titans are probably 8.
7.5. The Texans, with all their losing, and the Dolphins having their pick, the Miami Dolphins have the 3rd pick in this draft.
That's unbelievable.
Isn't it really? Can I offer you a trade proposal?
Yeah.
If you're the Dolphins, I'm the Jets. I call for the 3rd pick. You would like that, right?
If you're the Jets and you're the Dolphins.
No, if I'm the Giants. I'm the Giants. I call you up for the 3rd pick.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you like that?
I would like that. They might do it.
I think the Dolphins should really entertain trading out. Because what do they?
should.
They need a receiver, a running back, and some old linemen.
Yeah,
Right?
can the Giants get that pick?
They might call. I could see the Dolphins moving down. Maybe the Giants call for you. Don't know. Trevor's gonna get down on one knee and say a prayer tonight. If that happens.
Man, and Joe will be throwing stuff out the window if that ever happens.
Yup. Packers and Bears.
Packers are probably 6.
Yep. Jags at Colts.
Oh, this gotta be a big game. Colts are probably 13.5.
14. Raiders Broncos.
What an awful game.
Yeah, this is a bad 425 game. Holy cow.
Raiders are probably 2.5.
Yeah, does anyone really care about that game? It's
Nope.
that game. It's Jets, Patriots,
And the Chiefs game.
and the Chiefs. No one's even gonna bat an eye on.
And
I
the,
don't
and
even
the,
think
and the,
Chiefs
Vi-
fans will watch that game.
and the Vikings Lions.
That's a game. Where is that? What time is that being
Oh,
played?
I think that's a 1 o'clock game.
Do we? I don't even see that on here. Do we?
No, who knows? Doesn't nobody even cares.
It's
That's
not even.
why.
It's not even on the list. It's not even on the list. Saints Panthers.
Saints. I think the Saints will probably be playing because they do have a shot at the 1 seed.
Yes,
Saints are probably 7.
6.5. Seahawks at Niners.
Seahawks are 5.
4.5. And the football team at the Eagles.
Ooh, you got to tell me. We don't know who the quarterback is yet, right?
Right now, I'm going with that Heineke kid.
Eagles are probably 1.
The football team is 1.
Ooh,
A road favorite against the Eagles. I might be spoiling this. I love that pick right now for the Eagles.
yeah, but don't pick it. So,
Will you be
'cause,
coming
I'm
out
a
with your
big, I'm
picks
a,
earlier?
I will be holding to the end because this we got to hold to the end because we have a lot of injuries.
Yes.
We don't know who's playing, who's not playing.
Uh-huh.
So that's why you got to hold until a little later.
Right. And looking at the picks right now, I am 23 and 25. You
Man.
are. Let's see. That's a loss. That's a loss. You went 0 for 4. You are 20 and 27.
0 and 3. We don't even pick 4
0
games.
and 3. Sorry, 0 and 3. You're right.
Yeah,
You're
trying
right.
to give me an extra loss there. Come on now.
You're 0 and 3. My bad there. You would have to win out, and I would have to lose out for us to force a playoff tiebreaker.
Was the inconsistent picking this year? That's certainly possible.
It definitely is. I didn't think that I would lose on the Colts pick, or I mean, I guess not the Cardinals. And I texted you earlier that morning. That Jaguars pick was awful.
Yeah, well, it turned out to be up. Now, I do want to tell our listeners, just in case there is a tie, which what we're going to do is we're going to pick 2 wild card games on the show as the tiebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
And what will happen is Joe will go first. He will pick, I don't know, the Buccaneers. I'm not allowed to pick the Buccaneers, for example.
And how do we know who's going to go first?
You can go first. I don't care.
You want to flip a coin, or okay, I'll go
No,
first.
well,
I'll go first.
yeah, you go first.
Sure,
So,
definitely. Thank you.
You're welcome. So you will pick the team. You will pick the Bucks. But I can't pick the Bucks. But I can pick the team that's playing against the Bucks.
You can pick the Giants.
I can pick the Giants if I want to. Yes.
I might do that for fun. Let's get to Trevor's segment. Trevor, what's going on in Europe on the day after Boxing Day?
Well, unfortunately we had a COVID game today, Everton and Manchester City. So
Oh,
that was unfortunate.
yeah.
So we're playing games on weekdays now, trying to get some games in to make up ground
Mm-hmm.
in Europe. So I'm gonna go all the way this week. We have a lot of to Sunday, January 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
11:30 game, Chelsea and Manchester City. Chelsea's kind of struggling. They're only tying bad teams.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's going on there. You know, some of the big goal scorers have kind of dried up the last couple of games. Manchester City's after a slow start, it's kind of rounding into form. I think it's both teams going in different directions, but they're both good on paper. I think it's a very interesting game.
All right, and Arsenal getting a win the other day, right?
That was a big win against. Well, speaking of Chelsea in downhill direction, now people were stunned. I was stunned. It was 3. I was like, holy cow!
Right, and Trevor took a deep breath. He's relaxed now. The thought of relegation is slowly moving away from his mind, right?
Yes.
Slowly but steadily. And as for the NFL, I got one game for you this week, and it is the Cardinals and Rams. It's basically this: loser goes home, and the winner goes to the playoffs. So
That's right.
it's pretty simple. Win, you move on. It's like a playoff game. Now, of course, there could be ties, but like Trevor said earlier, we do not want to talk about ties. Although I'm kind of rooting for a tie. That would create all sort of craziness.
We're not waiting for a tie. We're rooting for somebody to win.
No. I want craziness, dude. I want pandemonium on Sunday night.
Pandemonium in the street.
But yeah, so Cardinals Rams 425 this week. I think it's on Fox or CBS. I forget which one. It's one of those. But after this, we got a couple more things to get to, and I gotta start with the Brooklyn Nets. And we'll get to the college football playoffs in a second, Trevor. But I do want to bring up the Nets because this morning it came out as I woke up at 11:30 this morning. Spencer Dinwiddie did indeed tear his ACL, and last night
Out for the season.
yeah, well, not necessarily. They said there's a good chance he could come back if his rehab goes right. So I'm not counting it out yet.
But he's gonna be out for a good period of time.
He might, yeah, like he might come back for like the playoffs. That's about it. But this is a huge blow, dude. He was just getting into a routine as an everyday starter, and if it is his last game this season, it's also his last game as a Net because the Nets don't have the money to bring him back next year, and he's got that option on his contract. So Spencer Dinwiddie is credited with starting this whole thing in I think it was 2016 with Sean Marks. He set the standard to where for where the Brooklyn Nets are today. So we owe as Net fans Spencer Dinwiddie a lot, but he's gone and we have to move on and we have to find his replacement. And I feel like the Nets have a lot of guys that can fill that void. Number one is Karis LeVert, but as I got to thinking, I think he needs to stay on the bench and come off the bench. He plays starter minutes coming off the bench. He's played 26 minutes, I believe. That's his average so far through 3 games. He's putting up monster points. So I want to keep him on the bench and come in as like a sub. To take Dinwiddie's spot, I like TLC. Cabarro in the bubble last year, he was great. Last night when the Nets lost, clutch shot after clutch shot after clutch shot. He went 4 for 4 in the short amount of time, and it ended up being a loss. But I think TLC needs to start going forward and keep LeVert in that substitution role right out the bench.
And just to be clear, Joe was not happy about the loss last night.
No, well, you know what is with the loss, dude? There were two reasons why they lost. Number one, they turned the ball over 19 times. That's unacceptable. You can't turn the ball over 19 and expect to win the game. Number two, the bench was awful. Some of these guys on the bench, Landry Shamet, 0 for 9. Torian Prince came in. He might be the worst player on this team, dude. I can't stand looking at this guy. He went 0 for 5. They need to clean that up, and I think they get Memphis tonight. So, also,
I'm looking right now.
Yeah, they got Memphis tonight.
Yeah, what's the news on KD, man?
He's not playing, and I'm fine with it. After, his big injury with the ACL
Yeah,
and the Achilles, Memphis got it. And it's also, don't forget, it's the second game of back-to-back. I have no
So
problem with him sitting.
It's not an injury. It's just rest.
No, it's just a standard. What do they call it now?
Load management.
Load management. There you go. It says load management in the short season and the off season. But not worrying. They should be good to go. I think they play again Wednesday. But Trevor, how about the Lakers last night? How about Kuzma?
On fire, man. That was a kind of a mini test yesterday. They didn't play that great of a team, but no AD. How's the bench going to show up? They showed up. Somebody filled the void. Kuzma did well. Marc Gasol from downtown.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the fourth quarter, I kind of cheated out a little bit. Like the last 3 minutes, I said, hey, it's a 40-point game. I can go to bed a little early tonight.
Right, good for you. Good for you, dude.
But I saw in the end, I saw some guys, and I saw Giannis's brother. I like to see all those guys get in.
Right.
Get some playing time. I was impressed. Yeah, they played the Timberwolves, but you got to have some of these little test games early in the season. And tonight, AD is playing.
Good.
I got that report before you just came in. LeBron with that ankle we don't know his status yet. It's still to be determined.
Right.
So I'm assuming my thing is that it's a back-to-back. You're playing Portland. It's an early season game, back-to-back. Don't push it. If he's not 100%, don't play him.
Right.
Keep him out. But that would be my thing. But I was very impressed the way they beat the Mavericks the other night. That was impressive. And the guy that has impressed me the most has been Dennis Schroeder. He has been a great pickup.
He really has, and there were some worries about him earlier in the year when he was injured, but he looks fully healthy. He's playing great.
Yeah, and I would think that right now they have to be still the favorites in the West.
Oh, definitely. And can I bring something up to you?
Yeah.
Now, I know you live in the metropolitan area, and we both do, but can I call them crosstown rivals? The Clippers?
Yeah.
What they did yesterday, putting up 22 points in the first half. Dude, without Kawhi Leonard, I saw a tweet, and I kind of agree with it. They might be a lottery team without Kawhi Leonard.
There you go, Paul George.
Oh, he didn't play too great.
I think the guy they miss is Montrezl Harrell. They miss him.
They shouldn't have let him go. I don't know how you let him go. To your rival, the Lakers, of course.
I don't know how you let him go to the Lakers. That's the one.
That is completely agree. Yeah.
But I think they miss him. They missed that guy off the bench.
Yeah.
Without question. And I think the other thing too is what did they say to a lot of teams? It's one game. Everybody has a bad game.
That's just ridiculous. 22 points in the first half.
Yeah, I agree. Everybody has a bad game, but it's different when you have a bad game when you have a bad game.
Like a
That
bad
was just
game.
that. No, me and you could have went out there and scored 22 points. I
I
mean,
think
come on.
so. Yeah.
But there ain't any of those guys out there. I mean, we could, but against the Mavericks, yes, the Mavericks are a good team. They're a playoff team. I give you that. But with no Kristaps,
Yeah.
a seventh or eighth, a 6 or 7 seed, does that to you? And you're supposed to be a title contenders.
Yeah.
I mean, look what the Lakers did to the Mavericks. The Mavericks hung around in the game, but the Lakers still beat them pretty good.
Right.
I think it just goes to show you right now. I think even though the Clippers beat the Lakers, yeah, that's one game, and the Lakers got off to a slow start. I think after that the game, when you get to the slow start, that Clippers Lakers game was pretty even.
I don't know about that.
But
I guess.
you know,
I think it was
actually,
actually more favored on the Clipper side.
yeah, after the slow start though, it was kind of went back and forth
Right.
a little bit. But I think the Lakers right now, for the first 2 games, I think they've shown they're better right now. It's early on, but I think they've shown they're better.
Yeah. Well, no, the Lakers are definitely better, dude. But can I bring up one more thing on the Lakers?
Yeah.
They're so deep. They really are. AD didn't play yesterday. You still go out and score. Was it 120 against?
I'll tell you right now, they scored 127.
There you go. Like, isn't that crazy? How deep they are without AD.
Now to be fair, the one thing I felt for the Lakers last night, which was no AD, is that the one thing that could hurt them is no Carl Anthony Towns is going to be there with no AD. That could be tough. But it turns out he missed 2
Yes.
the game. So 120 against Timberwolves, who I don't think the Timberwolves are a young team, but that's still pretty impressive though. That shows you how deep the bench is.
Right. I agree. And I want to give you one team that I've been surprised by through 3 games, and that is the Orlando Magic. They're quietly 3-0. They're beating up on opponents, and if you were to ask me one team that I think was shocked me so far, I'd say the Orlando Magic.
When they beat the Heat, no, I think they beat the Wizards twice. So I think the Wizards are just an okay team.
Those are pretty good.
Well, besides Russ and Bradley, I don't know.
What would your team be for 3 games?
My team be?
Yeah, like
for 3 games.
Yeah, like your surprise team. Like, they can't believe they're 3-0 right now, or can't believe
Cavs are 3-0. I'm surprised about that.
Yeah, I think they're gonna come down to earth.
Well, if you take a look at the Cavs wins, I'm not surprised. They beat the Hornets, who I think are just okay. Right? Would you agree with that?
Yes.
They beat the Pistons, who I think are the worst team in the league.
Completely agree.
The Pistons are just awful. And they beat the Sixers, but that was with no Embiid.
Right.
So they play the Knicks Tuesday. That's an interesting game.
Knicks coming off win versus the Bucks, by the way.
Then they play at the Pacers Thursday. The Pacers should win that game.
Right.
So, yeah, some interesting things there.
Yeah. You want anything else in the NBA?
No, it's just that we have a TNT doubleheader
tomorrow night.
Tuesday. I gotta see.
I know the night game is New Orleans and Phoenix. I don't know. I think
that's a good game. The 7:30 game is Bucks and Heat.
Bucks and Heat. Okay, I thought it was gonna say Bucks Celtics, but all right. Yeah, but I love TNT doubleheaders. Dude. They always find the best games for TNT doubleheaders.
And ESPN too.
Yeah, but you know what it is too. I got rid of NBA TV on my TV subscription package, so I think there was a triple header yesterday. I wasn't able to watch any of it.
Some sports fan you are.
Oh, I know, right? So yeah, that's what we got in the NBA. We got 2 more things to get to, and we're gonna jump right back into football because why not? I wanted to get your thoughts on the college football playoff happening this weekend.
You got that on Friday. We have the Week 17 on Sunday. We have what a weekend of football.
We got a couple bowl games on Saturday too.
A couple bowl games on Saturday. What a weekend of football.
Seriously.
I think Clemson Ohio State's gonna be a classic game.
No, I think Clemson takes care of business pretty easily.
And it's gonna be a close game. I don't know. Well, I think Clemson. Well, actually, I think Ohio State pulls it out in the end.
No.
Close game. Maybe 31-30 or something like that. I think Ohio State pulls that one out. And I think in the first game, I think Alabama just runs over Notre Dame.
Oh, I agree with you on Alabama and Notre Dame. But I think Clemson is going to take care of business. Ohio State's overrated. Fields is overrated. And Clemson's a far better team. Dabo was right when he said that OSU's, I think he said they were 11th. Completely right. They only played 6 games. So they're illegitimate that they're even in here. So I'm saying Clemson by far.
We'll see. We'll see. I hope it's a close game. I think it's gonna be, but I think Alabama wins. Maybe like 42-10 or something like that.
Right.
I mean, I never see a punter come on for Alabama. I mean, come on.
Right. And can I ask you a question?
Yes.
From now to next Monday, any bowl games besides the two college football playoff games that interest you?
Actually, a lot, and I'll tell you them.
I see one too.
Uh,
Go ahead.
right here. Well, tomorrow we got the Cheez It Bowl. That's actually the name of the bowl. I'm not making that up. We have a ranked matchup: number 21 Oklahoma State, number 18 Miami. That's a good game.
Yes.
New Year's Six Bowls: the Cotton Bowl, Florida and Oklahoma 7-6. That's a good game.
That's not Friday, right?
That's Wednesday.
Wednesday. I'm looking at
Uh,
Friday, dude. Look at the Friday game. Look at the
yeah,
first
we
game
got
Friday.
Georgia Cincinnati. That's a great
That's
game.
a great game.
Even Auburn Northwestern's a little bit interesting.
Yeah, maybe.
And then Saturday we got two more New Year's Six Bowls: Oregon, Iowa State, and Texas A&M, North Carolina. So those are pretty good games too.
Yeah. And I want to give you an update on the greatest sporting event to ever happen. That was the New Mexico Bowl on Christmas Eve.
I watched that game. That was a good game.
Wasn't it
actually.
awesome? Now, Hawaii came out strong. They looked like they were ready to go, dude. And I'm okay. I let me address the elephant in the room here, dude. I'm hyping up the Hawaii Bowl because it was the only game on Christmas Eve, and I was searching for something to watch. And this is the only freaking game on TV on Christmas Eve. So I was watching this game like it was the Super Bowl. So Hawaii came out looking like they wanted to win. They were determined as heck. And Houston all year hasn't been a bad team. And I had some trouble explaining to family members why Hawaii was playing in the New Mexico Bowl, which was taking place in Texas.
Because of COVID restrictions, right?
Oh yeah, well, tell them that. It took them a while to understand it. But also, I want to add one more game here, dude. This is on Thursday, West Virginia against Army. Always rooting for Army. That's a game I'll
Yes,
definitely be watching.
that's actually a pretty good game. Yes, yes.
Yeah, so I mean, I always root for Army in all of the
Me too.
academies, so definitely one of the ones I'll be watching.
Yes.
All right, and this is the last show of 2020, so we have to.
What a year!
Oh God, this is one, dude, that we will never forget. This is one we tell our kids about. This is actually. There's two more things I want to get to, but we'll get to that. We'll do that last. So, the top 5 sporting events and sport moments of 2020. Now, this is the weirdest year ever. We didn't have sports for, what was it, 4 months? March, April, May, June, 4 months. So we're missing a big chunk of time here, but let's go. You want to start? You can give me all 5 of yours first.
It's tough. Man, I had a tough time doing it.
Me too.
Number 5.
Hold on, sorry. You had to think back to, you even had stuff before the COVID, and now picking 5 is tough. Go ahead.
Number 5, I'm going to go with Vince Carter's last game.
Okay.
Which was on that famous March 11th. And nobody knew it at the time that it was his last game.
Right.
At that time. But, what a career the guy's had.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what can you say? Was it 19 years? 20 years? Something like that? I mean, through all circumstances, the game has changed on him. That was just at least with fans there, it was a special moment, I thought.
Now,
for his final game.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he retire like a couple days after the season got suspended?
Yeah, because I think he kind of knew that he wasn't coming back.
Yes. All right.
Number 4, this is pre-COVID actually, is the Super Bowl back in February.
Okay.
That was a great game.
Yes.
Just it was to see it. You almost think you were there. The crowd noise. I thought it was just a great game, and I thought that since we missed so much time, since there was no March Madness this year, you had to fill the void.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that deserves a number 4.
Okay.
Number 3 is Alex Smith coming out on that field after 2 years. Am I right? Come on.
Mm-hmm.
That's a moment. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
That's a great moment. What a success story. The leg almost got amputated. That is some story. 2 years he's been out? 2 years?
Yes.
I mean, that's a moment.
Dude, and the fact that it almost got amputated, that's what sticks out to me. The leg was almost taken off.
Number 2 is July 30th, 2020, the first American, I'm not counting the European, first American sport back. I think that was a big moment for the country when that happened.
Well, hold on, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. What do you mean? Well, it is American sport that came back.
No, but there were sports that
I
came
don't. I
back,
don't count.
and horse racing never stopped.
I'm talking about the core four sports.
Okay, all right.
And I don't count MLS either.
And this is the Yankee game, right?
I don't count MLS either.
Okay, but this is the Yankee game that returned, right?
No, July 30th was the NBA.
Baseball came back 23rd.
Oh, baseball came. I'm sorry, July 23rd. Baseball came back first.
Yeah,
Yes.
here you go. You're good.
Sorry.
Yep, you're good.
And number one, now you're gonna say it's kind of all moments mixed together, but number one moment is the MLB, the NBA, the NHL. Am I missing anybody else? Those three, right?
No, you're good.
So those three teams who won those championships this year. That's my number one moment.
All 4 championships.
All three. Wait,
3.
am I missing a three? Am I missing a fourth? No, it's three, right? Because the NFL hasn't crowned the champion.
Yes, you're right.
So those three teams, what they had to go through for that journey, that's number one moment.
Those are
what they had
great,
to go
dude.
through.
Those are great, dude. And I'm happy to have some different ones than you because this will make it interesting. And I guess I'll start down at 5. And you made yours about the sports world, which I think is awesome. I made more. I was a little more selfish. I made it personal about me. So
Wow, what a way to be selfish, man.
but at number 5, I have the Nets season opener on December 22nd, and this is when Kevin Durant made his return from the Achilles injury. Through 3 games, he's been pretty good. Like people, the Twitter doctors, as I call them. You're not on Twitter, but there are these Twitter doctors that were saying Kevin Durant could never be what he was. No one's ever done this. They all said he couldn't do it. He did. He did do it. He came back and he's played a great 3 games. So that's number 5 for me. Number 4, you got to think back all the way to January 19th, almost a year ago. And that was the Chiefs' comeback over the Tennessee Titans. And going into halftime, the Titans were leading. Derrick Henry, remember this, has having a monster.
Yes.
Excuse me. Derrick Henry was having a monster game and a monster season in general. But here come Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and this tremendous Chiefs offense. They would end up winning that game and end up beating the Niners in the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is number 4 for you. This is pretty close. Chiefs comeback. That's pretty close.
Yes.
Number 3. Trying to think back to this too. August 11th. The Lightning game that went 5 overtimes.
Oh.
Now, I was trying to think back. I don't remember who. I think they played Columbus. I didn't write down
Yes.
who they played. They played Columbus, and I think Tampa. I don't even know who ended up winning, but I remember that game so specifically. I was hanging out at my buddy's house watching the hockey game, and they go into overtime. We're like, all right, we got bored. We're gonna go play wiffle ball. We're gonna go get some dinner. We're gonna go in the pool. We come back 3 hours later. This game's still on. It's in the 4th overtime, and it's not even over yet. They played one more after that. Corpusalo, I think, broke a ton of records for the amount of saves in a game. So that's number 3. Number 2, this was the best game of the year. It was the Yankees and Indians Game 2 of the American League Wild Card Series, September 30th.
Oh, that was some game.
That was the game that lasted till 2 in the morning. And it was the Gio Urshela hit a grand slam that game. Stanton hit a home run. There were so many clutch hits. Gio Urshela had a great game. He made another play at third base. And the Yankees would eventually go to San Diego and play in the division series against the Rays. That was the best game of the year, and that's my number 2 moment. And similar to Trevor's number 2, my number 1 was when baseball announced their return on June 23rd. And I think this was the first sport to announce they were coming
July?
back. No, they announced their return on June 23rd.
Oh, okay.
There was that moment. Good.
I remember the actual date.
I went back and found the date. It was June 23rd. That was the moment where, after 3 months of nothing, I started feeling a little life again. I think most people did. That we were going to have normalcy. We were going to have our favorite things. Sports back in our life. On, I think it was July 23rd it came back, right?
Yeah.
So
22nd or something like that.
Yeah. So that for me, getting back the sports was number 1. And what a year 2020 has been, dude.
I just want to say a message to everybody. Tough times. I hope that through these tough times, we got a little bit of distraction to this, and I hope. And wow, what a year! I mean, this is a year that we will never ever forget.
Never, dude. And you hit it right. You hit the nail on the head. Distraction is the key word. This is almost like a child's job. Like, if you go into sports radio, it's like working in a toy store. All your life is a distraction from the real world, and you don't have to face the road. You don't have to deal with an annoying boss or like stuff like that.
Yeah.
That is what sports is. It's a big old distraction from life. And for 3 months, we didn't have that. And I think once we got it back, our lives got a hell of a lot better.
Hmm.
All right, so
I mean, we got creative with our shows though, doing
we
this.
really did. And this is what I'm most proud of, dude. For you joined me on June 15th. So you did it for a month. I didn't do many shows during it. I did like 5 shows over the span of 3 months. We got really creative, dude. Looking back on this, if in 20 years me and Trevor connect, we're going to look back on this and say, how the hell did we do it? How the hell did we cover sports when there was none? How the hell did we do it with cancellations, with deadly viruses left and right? How did we do it?
Yeah.
That is what we're going to remember.
Yeah. You
And
hit the nail on the head.
exactly. And I want to thank one more person or one more organization before we head off, and that is the Tampa Bay Rays. Thank you for handing the American League East to the Yankees last night by treating your best player, probably your best player, but definitely your best pitcher, to the Tampa Bay Rays for prospects. So I do want to extend my sincere, what do you call them, thank yous or whatever. Thank you, Rays, for giving the Yankees another free trip to the playoffs. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, and the other thing too is, Padres talked about is I think they signed that top KBO prospect.
That was the Padres.
That's Padres, yes. I was and I heard that they're in deep talks with
Yu
Yu
Darvish. Yeah, how about that? Dude, think about the Padres rotation. Snell, Lamet, Davies, Paddock, and Mackenzie Gore in a few years.
What about Clevenger?
Clevenger next year. They don't have them from this year.
Wow, that still counts next year. So, whew. But they did. But Padres said they gave up. They gave up Francisco Mejia, who's a top prospect. They gave up Luis Patino, who could be very good.
Right.
And then the other two guys, I don't know. So.
Right. And going forward, would you say the Padres are World Series savers now, or up there?
That's tell me how the free agency goes. Who the Dodgers get?
All right.
It's tough to say right now. The other team I would say is, I for the Yankees perspective,
Mm-hmm.
you know the Orioles are not going to be your main contender.
Right.
The Red Sox are rebuilding.
Mm-hmm.
The Rays, I don't know. They always seem to find a way.
Yep, they always do.
I think your main competitor for the division is going to be the team north of the border now.
Yeah, and depending on what happens with DJ LeMahieu, because I think they're rumored to really want him, which would be a disaster. That is a team to worry about. I agree with you, but I also think the Rays are like the annoying little brother. They're never gonna leave you alone. They're always gonna poke you, and they're always gonna be annoying. But they have to worry about them. Now, can I say one more thing? I think we lost Trevor. All right. Well, what a way to end the show with technical difficulties. That's so 2020 MDM show. But are the Padres out there with the Dodgers now?
You have to tell me how free agency goes.
Okay. Right now, though. Right, if the season started right now.
Yeah, I would say so. Yes.
Yeah. So there you go. San Diego Padres. They're done losing, and they're ready to compete with the Dodgers. So, Trevor, any closing remarks on 2020 sports and the show?
What a year. That's all I had to say. I was glad to do this with you. They kept me going. Looking forward throughout the weeks, pandemic. And it's just, I'm speechless. I don't know. I'll give you this out there for another podcast. If you wanna, over the holiday break or this week, if you want to look at something, go for the 30 for 30 podcast. It's for free. March 11, 2020. It's a great podcast. The 30 for 30. You should listen to it.
Oh yeah, definitely send it to me. I heard you say it, but I never got the chance to find it. So definitely send it to me if you can.
Yeah, I think I'll send that to you.
All right, cool. So yeah, Trevor hit the nail on the head. This is fun. I'd love to keep doing it more, but yeah, I'm a loss for words. But that's it. I'm Joe Morales. That's Trevor Markowski. You can get me on Twitter at Joe Morales_. This has been the MDM podcast.